Hello, everyone, and welcome to another PS episode here on the Exceptional Admins podcast. I have in front of me some notes, and today we're going to talk about career audit and the importance of doing a career audit because that self discovery is magnificent. And so here's what I mean. And some of my notes here I've got down before me. You could be early in your career, mid, late in your career. And what happens when you're doing an audit is you're asking yourself questions. And oftentimes, individuals aren't sure what that great first question is. And there's also the decision fatigue that shows up when you are trying to decide what other questions you should ask. And so, my gift to you was creating a really great article on our website, actually, also giving you an assessment that has 10 questions. And there's three categories that give you an answer in the assessment. Are you unhappy, somewhat happy, or happy based on the grading and the score that comes at the end of the 10-question assessment? And then inside the article, I also have a workbook for you that has 4 components. We talk about passion, we talk about career, we talk about branding, and then we talk about self. When you're thinking about your career and you're thinking about, like, what am I doing? Where am I going? When was the last time I thought about that? Or when was the last time I considered adding that to my suite of strengths? Something we like to talk about here at Exceptional Admins because each strength you have builds out a suite. Just like Microsoft Office and Google have a suite of products, you have a suite of strengths. And so, how do you capitalize on those really strong ones? And how do you develop the ones that are, lower on the list of strength? Inside doing a career audit and the workbook that I designed, the assessment I put together for you, I wanted to be your thought partner. And I wanted to give you a place to show up that you believed that in auditing where you're going in your career and what you're doing can fully be within your control. If I were to make a bold statement here, I would say that you doing a career audit is so important, and waiting for someone else to help you with your career, ask you different questions, and give you that next step. It actually starts with you. And it starts with you because you're the one that knows yourself the best. You're also the one that has the entire movie in your brain on who you are, what you've done, how you've added value, how you've fallen down and picked yourself back up. And so, conducting a career audit is going to give you that wonderful visibility into, what am I doing? Where am I going? And most importantly, what do I want? And so, some of the key things that come up when you're conducting a career audit is the alignment with yourself. And we're in such a rush society where we read headlines and we attach ourselves to what those headlines say, but what's the actual body of the article? In this case, I want something magnificent in my career. Well, what's the rest of the story? What is the meat and the details of that headline? That headline might be a question you have in your head. For those early in their career, gosh, the thousands of calls I've had in the last 7.5 years, they're lacking some direction and they're not quite sure what's the smartest next step. And so, conducting a career audit and going through the modules in the workbook are going to really give you that awesome place of reflection, which is huge. And also, reflection of, I don't want that. The next thing for those in the middle point of their career are, where am I going? What have I done? What do I want to do next? And what do I want to do next that's careful in not, putting a target on the back of my career that my career could dissolve faster than I'm ready to tap out of working. That's something I talk about a lot because if we're not thinking about a really long-term steady growth trajectory, we're going to hurt ourselves. We could get a title too soon, high salary too soon. And then there's a peak and then there's a decline. And for those later in their career, you've done so much. How do you capitalize on that, right? When they're interviewing for CEOs, they want to know the entire story, the strength, like I mentioned earlier, falling down, getting back up. Life is about experiences. And through the workbook and the 4 modules that I mentioned, we ask you those questions. We actually tee up a podcast episode from the Exceptional Admin Show. We have you listen to it. We have you answer a series of questions that really take that reflection. And you know what the gift is also? You could do this on your own time. You could do it all in one weekend. You could do one module a weekend, or you can forget about it and come back to it. But that opportunity to have that thought partner with you through the questions we've created, the assessment. It's really beautiful for those that have gone through it, that have shared with me. This really helped me get clarity. And so clarity is so key. We might think we want to go in this direction, but because of a question or a comment made in a podcast, they're like, you know what? I want to go over there, or I'm really great where I'm at. And so thinking about the three categories when you take the assessment, are you unhappy, somewhat happy, or happy? Wouldn't it be great to kind of just know that based on certain questions? Because we sometimes think we're happy, and then sometimes we're not. I realize totally it's circumstantial as well. And just as a recap, passion, career, branding, and self are the four modules inside the workbook that we really wanted to give you, those questions and those conversations to listen to from the podcast that really give you that moment of reflection. So much about doing a life audit and a career audit are just the reflection. And we can't fully see what's on the horizon. But if we have more information about who we are and what value we bring, we might be able to make more calculated decisions on a left turn or a right turn when it comes to that next move. Thanks so much for listening. I hope that you found this valuable. Be sure to check out details in the links below so that you can take the audit.